To get more analysis on the election results, I have Jo Phillips here with me, political journalist. Thank you very much for joining us here today. So, Jo, I mean, quite the day, surprising. We were mostly expecting a hung parliament, but look at the results. What do you say?
Well, I was stunned, as I'm sure most people are. I was expecting a hung parliament, probably a Tory majority, but nothing like this scale. It's been devastating for the Liberal Democrats, it's been devastating for Labour. There's going to be an awful lot of inquests and post-mortems. There's a lot of bitterness, I think, within the parties as to what went wrong. But it is quite clear that Boris Johnson has appealed across the country to people who I think wanted to move on with Brexit.
Well, as you said, looking at the last 2 years of uncertainty of Brexit under the Conservatives, usually you would expect the opposition to get popular. So is it the failure of Jeremy Corbyn?
I think Jeremy Corbyn just didn't appeal to people. I mean, and on the issue of Brexit, he wouldn't say where he stood. So if you were going to lend your vote to Labour, if you were a Lib Dem or Green, for instance, and you were going to lend your precious vote to a party, would you do that to somebody who the party leader wouldn't even say where he stood? The other thing was that I think Labour put out so much, you know, their retail offer, if you like, was like going into a shop and you just want a pint of milk. And there was just everything from, you know, cat's milk to cow's milk to camel milk to yak milk to almond milk. So it's too much. And nobody really liked him, nobody really trusted him. He's got a huge core of the Corbynistas supporting him. But, you know, now the Labour Party has to rebuild, and that's a hard job. Same for the Lib Dems.
And we're talking about the heartland of Labour. We're talking about the Midlands and the North and the red wall crumbling. Yeah. Did you expect that to happen?
No, I know that, you know, those were the places where there was a very big Leave vote. So that Leave vote was going to be attracted to a Conservative leader or a Conservative party that said, we are going to get this done. Because those people understandably feel betrayed. They voted in the referendum 3 years ago. Nothing's happened except a lot of delay. So they feel, right, I need to move on. Now, from the Conservatives' point of view, if Boris Johnson wants to be the one nation Tory that he claims to be, and he said this morning, and move away from this rather aggressive, bombastic campaigning that we've seen, he has a great chance to do that in those Labour heartlands, which would keep Labour out for a generation. But if you think back and you think these are the areas in this country where there were pits and factories absolutely devastated during the Thatcher years, and you know there will be a lot of people whose ancestors would be turning in their graves to think that they voted Tory.
Well, he's only been in Downing Street for a couple of months, so looking at these numbers now with this majority, what kind of Prime Minister are you expecting him to be?
I would like to think that he doesn't now, because he's got the majority in his own party, that he can naturally now be less scared and less driven by the European Research Group and the hard Brexiteers. We'll see what happens. There will be a mini reshuffle over the next few days, I'm sure. But I don't think any of the very big jobs will change hands particularly. But it's up to him. If he wants to be the one nation Tory that he says he was and that he said he was when he was Mayor of London for 2 terms, then this is his opportunity. He's got the majority to do it. But you've lost people like Ken Clarke and Dominic Grieve. You've lost Sarah Wollaston, who was a Tory who became a Liberal Democrat. You've lost those thoughtful, old-fashioned Tories, if you like, and of course Ken Clarke standing down. So we'll see what Boris Johnson comes out like.
We do have to wrap it up here, but it's a pleasure talking to you, Jo Phillips, here with me.